Welcome to the sixth dimension. Yeah, that's right. Uh, yeah, yeah. Check me out. Peak gang. Don't get thrown out. And this got it on the road, cuz now Jesus take the wheel. And we was on a hill. Now you don't know jack shit, so keep that shit with chill. I ain't going in the light. Yeah, and you know that it's the flight. Yeah, alright. Now Jesus take the wheel. And we was on a hill. Now you don't know jack shit, so keep that shit with chill. I ain't going in the light. Yeah, and you know that it's the flight. Yeah, alright. Dolo flights. That's the Holy Christ, yeah. Smoking L, stuff the ashes and a holy grail. Yeah, it's Uriel. That's me. And all you fucking demons, you can go to hell. Yeah, or go to Yale. Not a school. Trust I'm not a fool. Ain't got a pot to piss in or a pot of food. But bitch, you got the blues and you ain't got a clue. Shit. And this ain't no Nickelodeon. Nope. And no, I ain't edited for a show, but I got these clips unloaded in. You know, they talk about a man upstairs, but I just gotta get a hold of him. When I walk through the heaven gates, God's dwelling place, I'm tiptoeing in, yeah. You niggas should sit down and listen because I'll be giving some game, you know. I'm setting you niggas on fire, you better go sit in the rain. I twinkle just like I'm a little star. Archangel Uriel, bitch, I'm a little star. Now Jesus take the wheel, and we was on the hill. Now you don't know jack shit, so keep that shit with chill. I ain't going in the light. Yeah, and you know that it's the fight. Yeah, now Jesus take the wheel, and we was on the hill. Now you don't know jack shit, so keep that shit with chill. I ain't going in the light. Nope. Yeah, and you know that it's the fight. Yeah, let me tell you right now, girl, I'm on my way. Gotta do shit like God, that's the only way. You watch your solo, way if you got hope and faith. Turn a radical awaken. Fuck what all y'all think. All y'all got recorded spaceship, Star Wars, Jar Jar Binks. Right before winter time, no vote, but that's what Paul gon' sing. Nigga, what the fuck is the past time? Made me call all links. I'm a ball deep, it's cuffing season. Yeah, doing esoteric kung fu, cause I got some karate beat. God niggas don't be done to if you ain't know your astrology. You really think somebody love you, so you know they'll probably cheat. Cause don't nobody really trust you, telling you please don't bother me. I don't give a fuck about the economy. Let the old ass kids have it. They got old ass kids habits. Solely known as kidnapping. I'm God if he was just rapping. The guy MC just snapping. I can fly like a plane in the sky, see a big dragon. Now Jesus take the wheel, and we was on a hill. Now you don't know jack shit, so keep that shit with chill. I ain't going in the light. Yeah, and you know that it's the fight. Yeah, now Jesus take the wheel, and we was on the hill. Now you don't know jack shit, so keep that shit with chill. I ain't going in the light. Yeah, and you know that it's the fight. Yeah,
Oh, but I said, that's something that sound like God. That's all I got. That's it. Before we even made an organ, made this instrument, the organ, God was so. And I was it. Shit, we all got a little piece of that. We all got the little inside of us. We can make the trumpet now. You better praise God, bitch. Over. Y'all bucket asses better start praising God. Y'all be like retarded as hell. New water bottles. New water. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, water, new waters. Good flowing, get water off the tongue. Bubbles. Oh, sad, real shit. I knew the little holy waters and rivers. So the hook is all over the goddamn place and things on the holes in the how. That's it. You only thought that I said something negative because you lost in the English language. Now you just lost. You think whole. You think I'm talking about something whole, and you don't even know it's being plagiarized. And, sad. So you don't even know it got something to do with Mother Water or something. The first holy. See, I ain't that deep though. Y'all ain't that deep. The first hole is half of the hole. It ain't got law with it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got Yah with it. So hope. You know what I'm saying? You can have hope to hear the word of Allah, to experience the high. Y'all ain't that deep though. Just call it light. That's your term for it. English. Call it light. That's it. And when you see holy in your English, whoever taught you it, only believe it what they taught you. Let it go straight to the Holy Bible for you. Let it go straight to some fake holy people for you. Let it go straight to some, let me figure out what holy mean in Google. Let me figure out what holy, you know what I'm saying? And you will never go to the actual direction, what it actually mean from the actual tongue. How? That's my tongue. I say over that. Okay, if it's your tongue, do this right now. Do this right now. You ain't Uriel. You ain't you nailing that head. You's a nobody. I say you'll go in a world with nobody again. It's in your mind. You know what I'm saying? People be wanting to be nobodies and shit like that. Okay, go ahead and shit like that. It's a way how we do everything. These is mechanisms, not one or the other. Go to hell to be with nobody. Nobody, no extension to come back to, because people, y'all be making with the English language, y'all be making it cool to go to hell. That shit don't be cool to me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Certain words, I be like, wait a minute, let me see, this don't mean this. And it ain't for this vibration or whatever like that, whatever this mean. Let me just go back. I know what I actually see. I got a word for it in my language. Oh, I'm cool, and then I'm cool there. I'm cool there. Now, if I gotta have a discussion with someone, conversate, that word gotta pop up to like connect the rest of the spell to make the conversation sound like it's a good pleasing conversation or not. You know what I'm saying? Then maybe I'll use it or something like that. But shit stops there though. I just use it like a bitch. I don't go no further into it. It ain't mine. It ain't my bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I give it off. I give it away. Somebody throw a conversation at me to something I don't want to experience no more. I give it back. Oh yeah, I remember something like that yeah, you can go back and help. You get help doing it. I have to give it back. Just give it back. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. That's how you gotta treat these bastardized languages and shit. You gotta treat them like just give them back. Get that shit back, you know what I'm saying? Or you just gonna be self-reflecting and then you're gonna be taking some shit that you thought you was giving off and you the actual image of it. So you'll know the English language is a trick. Whatever you start to focus on using the English language, it redirect you into hell. So the very same thing you think you dislike end up being on your mind so much you end up liking it. That's how they program y'all with goddamn it, the broadcasting in the world to cast a spell on you. Now that's your favorite song, a little Bow Wow. You just don't know that shit was trash, but it was your favorite song because they played it every day next to E-I-E-I-O, get your head right, just playing it like every. So y'all, that's the only reason it was programmed to your brain on manuscript because you was on the right radio station that played clearly and shit before you got took to school in the morning and shit. It was like radio station. That's the only thing you was really downloading. You ain't download nothing else. You ain't download nothing else and upload but a concept in your mind to go make Air Force Ones one of the richest tennis shoe companies. I said, oh, none of that. If we go any further than that, you went way off the parameter. You ain't nowhere near the Great Spirit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You ain't nowhere near the holy ones and stuff like that. You done drifted off and went into buttercream land and foundation land and goddamn circumstance land. So you gotta peep that game. You gotta peep that out too. So you gotta be very careful in this world and shit like that. I'm just giving y'all a game. You know what I'm saying? This whole thing ain't even for me to teach. This is for me to look at stuff and put people in hell. It's my whole mission. That's my whole new mission and shit like that. It wasn't my mission before. I never wanted it to be my mission and stuff like that, but it gotta be. It gotta be. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm here to save people, but everything play out in reverse too. It's for people to take it. You take this fruit, take this juice, go about your business. You know what I'm saying? But don't think you ain't here better, you ain't know better, you do better type qualities. It's like that type of situation. I like kind of leave it there. Stuff like that. Everybody had their own will. I like to do great spirit energies and stuff like that. I was allowed to have my own will. I'm allowed everybody around me to have their own will. You know what I'm saying? You got your own will. But I can give you the knowledge on how to spend the will. Always got to be in an equilibrium spot. You take that with you. Whatever part of the will you get on and want to just do that piece and frozen in time, but make sure you got grace with it, but you got the knowledge. You got the knowledge. You see what I'm saying? You don't get lost in the wheel. You the one who spins the wheel. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? From now on, I'm gonna have some deep videos on the Patreon, but you know, it's mainly for real life. Right now, I'm just the medicine man. I'm the young medicine man. I'm standing bull. You know what I'm saying? With sitting bull, sitting down, I'm standing up for them. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I'm standing up for my damn people. And that's it. Things gotta be kind of sacred a little bit though, cause like online was once a fun and game. Like it was fun to do. It's not fun to do now when it comes to waking people up and coming up with good creative ways of knowledge and new ways to look at math and science. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just use for politics and stuff now. Then trying to use me and others. So yeah, I gotta totally separate. You know what I'm saying? Title, totally separate. Energy, totally separate. And, you know, nothing can stop gold though. Gold. So you know what I'm saying? Eventually, people are not even gonna care about the English language after a while. You know what I'm saying? Because the only people to watch is gonna be me and other people once we all come together too and things of that nature. And just go ahead and separate from the English language. That's what we need to do, y'all. We need to just go ahead and separate from the English language at some point. You know what I'm saying? So anybody around me, you learning my shit. Females, you got no choice. And men, you gotta be an interpreter. So we gotta create how English was created, some extension language, you know what I'm saying? Because so whatever bastard eyes you got, you're gonna learn some of my shit for us to communicate. You got your stuff, and that's how, and that built on that. But everybody gotta go to heaven, especially around me, because you gotta be intelligent like me and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Keep coming back and stuff, and create a new land. Leave these ones alone. These ones imploded. There's only gonna be a couple trees left after like a good 100 years. Because it ain't no thoughts, it ain't no feelings, and then it's still too much plucking or destroying. So it ain't gonna be nothing to even create GMO. The same way natural shit got soaked up, GMO gonna be soaked up. There's gonna be no other creative thought to eat or fuck or sleep, and ain't no technology you can create to help you with your eat, fucking, or sleeping. And it take all sentient beings that can eat, fucking, sleep to even create a technology for that. You know what I'm saying? So a technology would never be able to be helpful for the very thing that a person have to be born to have. So we have to understand that too. It's like his life is finished because it ain't the English language fucked y'all up. It ain't all on the English language though, but it's just the things that the English language leads to. And a lot of it that it leads you into vibrational sounds anyway. But then y'all don't even understand that. And so it'd be like the vibration match the atmosphere and the environment, whether you're a foreigner or not. So even when y'all in pain a lot, in the mind, you frustrated a lot, you interacted with the atmosphere, but your spirit inside of a mind that bend in and become the percentage scale of your phenotype, skin type, and if it's from a different geographical location, it's the first makeup that makes that happen. So you always going to create a situation where your thought don't match the atmosphere and the water and the environment thought where you at. And you might need assistance from whoever established something there by going through the same thing you're going through. They just did it on an extreme level and lost their hairlines and shit. But these is the natural qualities before something lead up and you can see what you're going through in real time. You know what I'm saying? That's all it really be about. Is like really be like natural shit. You know what I'm saying? Natural qualities. The more you know about yourself, the more you know how you produced your organs, the more you can help somebody else out who produce similar organs like you because they're on the same spiritual root race, which you guys are considered to be human. So you can find a better piece within your mind that condensed in the brain area. You could be able to help somebody else out in the mind that condensed into something that they was thinking about with the brain. You find more areas, within your heart and your lungs and stuff. You'll be able to see the essence and stuff. You got to know how to understand the holy holy. For an example, right? Your throat chakra and your lungs. That's producing the air that you could condense fast enough to come out as a voice. So for the most part, if the lungs dealing with air and the heart dealing with more with blood, then even from a less dense to a heavier dense, your mind works faster. But when it's heavier dense, water moves slower when it condenses as water than clouds. That's a mechanism that you already have. So you already know when you're utilizing your lungs, that's going to be attached to more things that you think about that you can express based upon your less dense layer that your spirit is aware of. And when you're utilizing your heart, it's going to express more of the condensed layer. and not as condensed as when you go lower, like your gut and your root chakra, like where that created and bent in and condensed and became your dick and your pussy and your asshole, your bosoms and stuff. Well, your bosom really chest cavity behind that goes that little filter system in your intestines. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's just jumping inside your body and understanding the process. And that's the same thing outside of us. That's the very nature of the less dense version of it. So you know that's where your mind at. When you jump in your mind and you outside of your body. So you're still alive with the tethering cord, but you're in your own mind. You didn't go nowhere. You're in the makeup of what we're doing now. And breath is just the most another version of a condensed version of it. But it's the process that make up to that. We all know what we do as a spirit to emanate. You know what I'm saying? It condenses and it becomes what it be. Actual matter. What matters on your mind becomes actual matter. Now, when you don't understand each process and the assistance of it, you will reach an ending of the outcome, the goal, and just start there from coming up with your observation and your decision making. And this would allows you by default be a spirit that's a child or a spirit that's unaware or a spirit that know better but choose to live backwards. But you're automatically living backwards because you're automatically having your first lens of glasses as the body, and your body going to be in search for something outside of you, where really that you should have did it inside of you. So your mind is all over the place. And if your mind all over the place, that means your spirit ain't a good practitioner. Your spirit ain't a good builder. How you built this body in the first place, you're not continuously doing that process. So something wrong with your spinal cord, something wrong with your organs. You got getting ready to get prostate cancer, getting ready to get diabetes, cataracts, lungs, something wrong with your voice eventually, and things of that nature, and shit like that. When you're doing a bunch of harm to others, there's physical ways of doing this, but then there's natural ways of doing this also, and that takes like a 10-20 year process before you start to see the outcomes of that. The physical way, you'll start to see that within months and stuff like that. So that's how you can tell the difference between if something have been engineered, or you have been dibbling dabbling in something you ain't got no business in that fuck up yourself, or you've been on this process of acting out this energy that you ain't deal with yourself inside of it's negative, and whatever area that you was utilizing the most. If you was talking a lot, utilizing a lot of mental manipulation, it'll go to your lungs. Using a lot of lack of care, but acting like you care, it'll go to your heart problem. Utilizing desires, replacing it with natural desires, like bringing kids in the world, or natural sexual things, or natural things you do in the world, and you replace that time with other things that matter none and stuff like that. It'll be hard for you to be sexual, or it'll be hard for you to get your dick hard, or it'll be hard for you to get your pussy wet and things of that nature. So these are just different kind of concepts to help you understand that this is a mechanism. And if you have these type of problems, I'm giving you the starting point so you can know what to start build on, because the mind is a muscle. So these are chakras. These are mentals, forms, and then bend in and condense and become adrenaline. And the more thoughts and feelings you can make, the more adrenaline start to pump, and then that be the issue that you think you have, because if you ain't know that was the starting point. It's just you having a lack of the ability to build adrenaline and blood flow, and you think your blood is already in you, and you just make it move around because you actually know you produce new blood, you create energy, a thought, it condenses, and you got new blood flow. When that's a lack, you start to become dried up, and then now you need extra assistance when it comes to your hair, skin, and nails, and then your well-oiled running machine bodily organ functions. You know what I'm saying? They don't run like a well-oiled machine anymore. You know what I'm saying? So those would be like those little natural qualities to look at too when you jumping inside of your body and see how things transition. And then you go to little micro size of yourself too. So those would be like the mini constellation. Because it's as above, so below, but in between, when we make an imagination, that's a fusion and friction. So the lesser dense, we ain't not space, but the atmosphere. Then the heavier dense, your micro atmosphere. Then when you collide those two things together, teamwork makes a dream work. Then that's when you seeing something in the sky. Someone else ain't gonna see it though. They're gonna see something else in their own sky. But there's a way we can kind of compartmentalize pockets in the sky due to the fact of the accumulation. And that's when the Great Spirit gives us the idea or the concept of the sun and the moon and things of that nature. And then the four quadrant pockets that it goes through. Then, microlize that, the 12 sectors it go through. Then as the moon moves a lot faster than the sun, it has an accumulation every so often and every 4 years. And then it kind of 13 month on a micro scale. And on the macro scale, it'd be like a leap year, some shit like that. But for the most part, it's just something that has to count for something moving faster, comparing it and contrasting it to the sun, knowing that it's just a reflection of the atmosphere based upon the emanation of the sun. know what I'm saying? So for the most part, both of those things gonna take the shape and form of the atmosphere, the thing that created it, the thing that's condensing it, or whatever the case may be. Atmosphere is just like the angel. So you want to become the angel body, so you interact with another atmosphere. Both of y'all are spirits inside of that space. Atmosphere, y'all first mind, y'all big bodies, big spirits create a big body atmosphere. Those collide in between, makes that fusion, friction, and pressure, and this is how we're getting the sons of man and daughters of the seas. But the angels we gotta create this though. You know what I'm saying? We're creating an atmosphere. The ones who remember, the ones who's on the true path, God's the great spirit's children, and things of that nature. You know, when you have this intelligence, you don't have this depth to even care about something this deeply, to even come at it this way. You're probably so low vibrational and probably so rooted in reality and synthetic that for the most part you're in reverse. So you're probably looking at me like this is either nonsense or not something to even be expressing like is that meaningful, or whatever the case may be. But you the one who may be going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Because why you here then? You missing the whole point of why your heart pumping every day. You missing the whole point of why you even got that thought in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like you missing the whole damn point. You need to be tapping in and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? For your own individual way. But the average individual don't like to do that. And females be a little tapped in more than the men. But due to the fact of being put in survival mode and having to survive, you know, you still have to kind of compartmentalize, and that might be put in the back seat, less on a percentage scale. So, you know, in order to save your spirit, a lot of times you got to detach some things that, you know, just putting a roof over your head and shit like that may need you to be there for and shit. And, you know, y'all sacrifice yourself in ways you don't know you sacrifice yourself. And it ain't what we do, is how we do it. It ain't like we can't do that and still have a, you know, a safe haven or a sacred place within ourselves. And when we go back to our area, not releasing all the shit that we are accumulating from the world and shit like that. But, you know, we're in a world where, you know, a lot of people don't allow y'all to do that and shit based upon they create another circumstance for you to be flunked out. So when you get good at the game in one area, the rules get changed in another area just as fast as they change Google and shit like that. That's why I don't even use Google. I only use Google when I make a joke or something like that and some celebrity pop up, or we're having a conversation about something and it's something that I could jump on Google real quick, and I'm pretty sure that's part on Google too. Other than that, I stay far away from any type of information that's limited hangout. You know what I'm saying? I'll just stay on my shit and things of that nature. And right now, I'm even getting to a point where I'm eventually, when I get online, whoever my people, they ain't even gotta speak English no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to that point. And shit, if it comes to a point like that where I'm not even wanted online, I get the fuck offline. I'm just doing this shit just because it's something to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, everything I'm doing right now is what I've already been doing in my real life already. And for me to be what I am, for me to know who I know, for me not to have no crime sheet, for me to say, I stay in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Humans can create hell for themselves on earth and give that importance. These things not important to me. You know what I'm saying? What y'all be stressed out about as far as everybody in the world and the things y'all be getting stressed out about and shit like that. Like I look at things like in my life, I only know how to self-reflect just like anybody else. If I got a problem in my life, I know how to take care of it in the most relatable way as possible and things of that nature. So that's the only thing I know how to emanate. I only know how to care about what I got control over. I don't have the stimuli of jealousy or getting mad over something I don't have control over. So let's say if I'm put in a situation where I'm not in full control over the situation either, I'm gonna have grace because I'm not about to sit here and worry about it if I ain't got no control over it. So it's even worse for a person to try to make me care about something I don't care about. That's them just creating their own hell and making me more important in their life than them. Like then they only gonna see my face, even when they still alive, whatever the case may be. But this is what all y'all need to know to make sure that y'all don't give fall into and things of that nature, because it get weird at sometimes when you want to protect your own spirit. You gotta make sure you protect your own spirit and stuff like that. So certain things don't even matter to me, and then you can see how it be mattering to other people in the world and shit like that. And it's like and then, you know, once a person can't spark their own juice, they're trying to make it matter to you. That's like how y'all be at y'all workplaces or schools or sports practices and stuff like that, and somebody uh involve you into like a conversation you don't give a fuck about or something like that, or like want your opinion about something like that's nonsense. Fuck you want my opinion, or somebody you don't even know or something like that. They'll say they want your opinion about some decision somebody made that you don't even know. Like who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to see that's why online is so whack right now. You get online and shit. And everybody talking about other people that's strangers and shit like that. I mean, it's okay to talk about it every now and then if it's something flunked out, but it ain't nothing to get all wrapped up and lost in and shit and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Just like I hate to even mention this, but I just like to make examples. It's like how they throwing Terrence Howard up here right now. I don't give a fuck about Terrence Howard. You know what I'm saying? And then how they got Floyd Mayweather up here and stuff like that, saying that he never had the builders in the first place or whatever the case may be. I don't give a fuck if he did or he didn't. Like, why is these things even like things? Like, so it make me feel like people bored. They ain't got no creativity or something like that. Because why is this what you want to promote? Why you want to promote getting it or not getting it? Or now if you got it and you get ready to put some people in it, let some people who get in it talk. Or whatever the case may be. You won't hear your mouth or whatever the case, or it don't even mean nothing anyway. Like nothing mean nothing if it ain't real. Like that's how it is in real life. What I'm saying, with anybody you dealing with that's genuine, that's real and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Online, it's like everything up for opinion. At that point, I start blaming that on the English language. Like, because people be trying to get lit, and the way the algorithm is, but it all be predicated on if you don't understand the difference between the English language, you won't understand. Like it'd be predicated on like another motherfucker that I don't even give a fuck about, like some shit like that. It's hard for me to even start getting online a lot of times. Like I don't give a fuck about this person, and people be making people more important than they actually is and shit like that. Like what the fuck is this person like? That's just like how they was doing Kitchen Lamar. This guy was everywhere and shit for that punk ass Super Bowl. Like, so that's why I only be talking about stuff once, and then once I see it get flooded out, I hate I even talked about it. Like I hate I even talked about it, because it make me feel like I'm part of everybody else. Like these is conversations I have regularly and shit like that. Man, these like demonic shit I run from. And anybody around me, y'all know that, especially y'all females, though, y'all know that. Like, some people want to do some talk about some angelic shit or something like that. Roll the dice, go play some. You know what I'm saying? All this type of shit, I ain't even on some bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my mind ain't got time for that. But online, it's like you gotta slide into it a little bit, because it's like the algorithm and shit like that. So you get forced to be in a position to be demonetized. Like it's like stupid as fuck. Some shit you don't even give a fuck about, but it look like it's being for opinion. It's being uploaded for opinion. I didn't even know YouTube was an opinionated thing. I thought it was just everybody getting over here all the way to like boot game, jumping through a damn table and shit like that. But yeah, YouTube ain't about being yourself anymore. It's about talking about somebody you don't give a fuck about. Well, I don't know how y'all think. That's how I think. I don't know how the world think. But I refuse. If that's what it means to get in the algorithm, that's what I don't give a fuck about it. I switch the whole motherfucking language and motherfucking shit. Whoever talking to me, shit, you get in my life and see how I do stuff and how I am in real life. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit is bullshit. Shit, we talking about living. Man, we get old and shit like that. We won't be able to do shit, man. What the fuck? Ain't nobody about to be wasting no time on us. Just talking about a whole bunch of strangers. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got money. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got a situation. You think I'm about to sit up here and talk about their mistakes or what they did good or something like that? But good for them. Like, if it is, and it's something like that's lit, I'm like, boom, I might mention it. That's why sometimes I just throw it and might mention it in my live streams or whatever the case may be. But then I regret even doing that. Because I like how intelligent I am. There's too many demons in the world. So I got the wrong audience watching me. Not y'all real people and stuff, but like the government and stuff like that. So it skipped the whole process of me reaching regular people how I do it in real life. So I can just do things naturally and be successful. It got motherfuckers who's making motherfuckers successful being perverts watching me and trying to take my energy and filter it through them and stuff like that. So it's like, damn, I knew I was powerful. I ain't know I was that. I ain't know that people was gonna get horny about it though. I know I'm cold though. Like I know I always come back, like, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't know it's about to be like all like that and shit like that, to the point that then somebody trying to make it online like it's real life, that could get weird at some point. Like weird. Oh yeah, I didn't want to be around no humans like that. That's like pervert to me. You know what I'm saying? So at this point in my life, can't a person in government tell me they ain't no pervert? I don't trust nobody in government or someone who trying to get into politics. If you trying to get into politics, you a pervert to me. You know what I'm saying? So anything that got anything to do with that, that's pervert shit. So it let me know this platform was made for pervert shit. So I don't give a fuck about this shit. I don't give a fuck about shit that ain't got nothing to do with my legacy or I can't be a part of. Who cares? I'm still gonna be me though. But at some point though, yeah, this is the energies we all in and shit. Like, well, at least y'all in. Hopefully y'all have fun and shit. But when it comes into just regular qualities and spirituality and shit like that, I was just medicine man. I'm saying everybody should learn their own internal energies, reach your boundaries and limits and stuff like that, and try to figure out how to go about it and shit like that. And that'll help you with your relationships. That'll help you with your how to deal with your children. And whenever there's something in the world that you don't need, you can flush it out. Just like you'll flush it out faster. Like just like how y'all in that Jesus Christ energy and shit like that. It won't be so long to the point that you got to be in some rhetoric in your mind of if I'm wrong, I don't want to be right. Where you're really just coping with what's actually going on. You was involved in something so long, you can't just switch up now, no matter if you got debunked, no matter if you see it's wrong, no matter if you look at actual experiences and even came to some new knowledge or something like that, and some other lostness that took you up out of that. Your ego, everything inside of you first is the only reason why you're allowing external things to affect you. So that's why you even jumped into the Bible in the first place and shit like that. So these would be things that you just going through as you had grace if you don't know no better though. If you made that thing though, that's another thing. But if you're a person who just need that for a crutch or whatever the case may be, still going to hell, but you have some grace. You just have to experience. You got to get out of your own fear. Whatever God you making out of that you made in that Bible is only you, a side of you that you scared of and shit like that. So you be bound down for a whole lot of times in your mind and shit like that to something that's really just your own mind and shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody told you to get lost in the English language, make a character in your mind. When you was alive, a white man put his face there, but it's still just your own mind. Whatever that white man did, that was they thought to push out. So they got to go to their own maker and shit like that. And even if they think they slaughter and everything in their mind, that's still their own hell. It don't matter. We all self-reflected. We either gonna do it for God or we ain't. But you have to take your own responsibility, regardless of what other image you have allowed to be poured into your canopy. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what other energy you have allowed to be poured into your canopy. But other than that, that's something that you gotta everybody gotta deal with personally, because you're still in your own mind no matter what. Externally, is this what you're plucking? Internally, is your mind. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, if in my mind, I want to make a surfboard. In your mind, you want to make a basketball and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? The only way I was able to feel good because I woke up and told you I want to make this surfboard, and you said you want to make a basketball. But in my mind, that's where it came from, and that wasn't in your mind. So even if I had a dream and say, hey, you was in my dream and shit like that, and we was surfboarding and shit. So I got this idea. When I woke up and you was next to me, that's when I actually talked to you, being a sentient being, and that teamwork makes the dream work. Our mind condensing as an atmosphere to be an environment for us to even be here interacting with each other. And then for the most part, you gonna tell me, oh damn, that was dope. So obviously, I made that image in my own mind of you, and you just another side of me that played out that character for that to be a collection of a dream. You was never there. So it's no existence of you being there with me wherever we go to our own place, our own hell. And we ain't gonna know how to wake up again. We ain't gonna wake up out of our own mind because we ain't play out the mechanism to condense to become a physical, to wake up out of the less dense, to be in a heavier dense, to be like, all right, boom, I can compare and contrast now. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand that. You're only gonna be able to be aware and pluck from that, being around others and assistance in a great spirit. So we wouldn't get detached ourselves and lose ourselves and stuff like that. Get them into a lot of weird areas and stuff, and then just try to figure out how we're gonna go about it. That's called over exaggeration. Animals, parasites, and things of that nature who had grace. Reason why they only went to hell but still had grace because they ain't know no better. But it was only over exaggeration. The seed of over exaggeration is what lead a raccoon to become a stray raccoon. What leads a coyote to become a stray coyote. You know what I'm saying? What leads a wolf to become a stray wolf from the pack. Over exaggeration. So they put too many mathematical procedures together in their mind, so they became toxic in the mind, rejected, separate. Then it's going to bend in and become either an actual event if there was too much in it, and they was already sick with their organs for them to actually start to do things, as they was already separate minded and rejected anyway by the atmosphere, them feeling rejected. Then the atmosphere may even start making them feel rejected physically. Then it might start reaching to the organs, even if they ain't sick, to move away from the family. Then, goddamn it, get bit by something. Coyote get bit by a raccoon or whatever the case may be. Now it physically got a toxin. Motherfucking coyote got rabies now on this motherfucking shit. So, this is all the spring of seeds of, physically, but you'll still have grace But whatever spiritual root race you attach to, if y'all evolve as sea creatures and humans, this is get ready to get to the end all and be all, and you have that's the washing machine cycle. The starting point, fire, water, air, and earth, atom, blow it up, and then that process is how we dropping off organs, dropping off eggs, and then now we can compare and contrast from spirits that become aware after us with their own same cycle, having assistance with a world that they already in, that same thing, and then we can see things we once was in a new form, other species. And this is how we evolve in atmosphere and environment with our own mind and body, atmosphere and environment, being practitioners, our own space and spirit parameter with the great spirit space parameter. So we all got a space. There's a great space. You got your own space, spirit. There's a great time. You got your own time, mind. There's a great body. You got your own body, physical, matter. You know what I'm saying? So the great matter is Mother Earth. You know what I'm saying? The great mind is that the atmosphere, and the great spirit is the thing that is within. So the space is this no thing, and it fills that numino up. So we always have some fulfilling energy. Learn how to have equalizing with that too, and you fill it up with your mind, your time, and then that the thing that you're inside, you're swimming in as a being aware as no thing. You're being aware of your something. Then teamwork makes the dream work. It get to condense and be a physical representation. We can experience each other, and we all in the same location spiritually. Now, if you go into a distant location, and filling this space up, and you create your mind, and then you create your own space and start taking your mind when you're here with us to go into your own space, that mind get rejected. And here's the thing, the only reason that your space is still being able to not be evaporated because you created a cloud to be able to exist, but it's only your own mind. But you took from all of us with your own to be teamwork makes the dream work, to even do that in the mind and the body here. Pluck from that, made your own mind, and as a spirit, it become your own sun and atmosphere that you made your organs with, so you get tight in a squeeze, frozen in time. As a spirit, you just think you are tight and squeezed, but you get ready to evaporate and suffocate because you're separate from everybody else. So you made a separate space and awareness, plucking from where you're here, where all of us as a space, so you wouldn't be here in the first place. And then just to even have that ability and dream. Then you took it, jumped inside of it, and it's a separate reality from here that you made from here, but you had the ability to make your own version of it by being here. And then for the most part, your spirit go to a space that really don't exist. You just had a form to go there, coming from this space that's here and having form. And now how we make things as teamwork makes the dream work. Now, once you in that space that don't exist, you the only space that exists there. The mind got to wait to fog up because it's still connected to here, but it's so separate, it's less dense. You're suffocating in it, and then once that evaporate your mind, then as a spirit, you was always nothing, but you can't spark no more awareness with other nothings that had to be together for awareness can even become a substance. Spirit evaporation. So that's how you do it in the spirit world before we even created it physically to experience evaporation and condensing. And with the cloud, you know what I'm saying? Because that same version of that play out physically. They all got the same thing. Physically is this, we see something like a tree being born and we can see the deterioration of it. We can see the land structure get constructed and crushed in water, rise sea level, be a mass, start to deteriorate, and then start to change structure over time, and then that's a greater yay. So we got the physical, and then we got the time mass of how the atmosphere based upon the cycle system, how we got it on the wheel, the native Indian wheel. The red, blue, and yellow. So y'all understand that too. And shit. So it's just keeping track of what spirits coming in and out based on what God needs us to build at the time. What great spirit needed, do the great spirit needs to add on to the brain? Do the great spirit needs us to add on to the heart? Do the great spirit needs us to add on to the lungs, or whatever the case may be? And then we add new ones, because then we tired of insecurities, which is insufficiency, which you're eat, fucking, and sleeping, which is or things that's backing and supporting it, like lungs and stuff. These be only problems, right? The great spirit is teaching us how to make better versions of these. This what you in, this what you are. What the fuck else do you think you doing? Y'all, people just think that, oh, I'm here, so this is always going to be here. So this is what people who started hell created too. Well, I'm just going to be here. So in their mind, they skip past the fact of stimuli and influence, and we all here influencing. They skip past that fact and just say, well, this is my world in my mind, and you can't even treat your own thing right. What make you think you're gonna be supplied next time? So that's a person not even treating this atmosphere and environment right. What make you think you get ready to go to a heaven that you forgot you got to be in? So you did wrong in the world, but you think God gonna supply you with an extended sun and atmosphere you could be a god in, and all your buddies could go to and just be demons all over the world, and then make up coping things in your mind. Hey, what I do down here is opposite in my mind. So that's a made up. That's how you go to hell. That's exactly how you go to hell. There's no other way to get there. That's the mathematical procedure of creating your own mind and then going left field, left hand path, and in your mind go to the sun in this physical world. But that's the metaphysical, all of our minds. So that's the pool of hell. So you never be on the cycle to go to right to left, the left, up, right, down, left, up. You never do that. You just stay in the left until you get shitted out. Because everything is in reverse. What's left to us in reverse up there is right in the ass. You just shit it out because the condensing is what's first shall be last shall be first. So that's just a more form of a condensing, the crushing in of the atmosphere. So that's a process of a flushing system. God created a flushing system. So if people teach going into the light, they're teaching going to hell and getting flushed out of reality. So the only way you can do that is creating your own reality in your mind, and you have to extensively do that externally and get a lot of help and force others to participate with it. So these are all forms of these are all forms of going into what burns you physically, and your mind have to separate from, because you're a piece of that, to be in a cooled off area. So we always see spring, summer, fall, and winter, and you do that with your own macro version: spring, summer, fall, and winter. But if you're not in order with reality, you get caught in a pocket. And that's a way how you get caught in a pocket. And anybody who get caught in their own pocket go to the holy macro pocket. But you don't come back here with us using that as a washing machine cycle. You stay in it and get flushed out because it's non-useful. The same way a process come here, the same way a process get out. The same amount of energy you put in, the same amount of energy you got to put in and do the opposite to get out of it, and let everything you did outwardly be done to you. So when the last test is the mind, because that's the atmosphere body, and you're not ready to be a god if you can't handle your internal world, and you could become the internal from the external world for everybody that's inside of you to be supported with your breath and your environment and stuff like that. So when you can't handle your own mind and you doing external things, you can't just be your own mind, and just the way you move is supported by external life within you. And that's how the Great Spirit, that's how God works, and that's how the Great Spirit teaches us. That's why I'm giving y'all this lens. So, you just, a lot of people just create a hell, so you're blocked by even that physical sun and your own piece of it, your own desire to understand what I'm talking about. So you burn in hell every day to prove something to somebody else, or to make somebody feel a certain way, whatever. You get lost in other minds, add on to your own loss. You see what I'm saying? So you got to look at it like that. The Great Spirit is putting us in that aspect where we're creating the atmosphere and environment, not getting lost in it. And a lot of individuals is in reverse in life. So it's up to us to keep them in that pocket too and cleanse the world. We're God's spiritual children. People who do that on earth is lost in their own mind because they're not creating the earth. They're not creating the atmosphere or whatever. So they're not even acting in the nature of it. They created their own nature with the nature that we're all using for the Great Spirit anyway to come here. So this is the very nature of going in your own mind. The very nature of being something you're not. And God not even that. The Great Spirit not even that. So you already have to be lost in anthropomorphizing too to even get lost into going in your own hell. You know what I'm saying? These are not things that we have to make it. We're making the Great Spirit. We make everything. There's nothing in life that show us we're not making it. So when you get lost into something already here, first you get lost into making people do things for you all the time, and you supposed to know how to beat your heart yourself. Make up your mind yourself. So when you make up your mind, you make a decision. You make the decision to do something for God, or you make a decision that you're doing something for yourself. And both things going to look like what we doing. Both words and actions going to look like we're the representation, but you're either going to self-reflect being a representation of the demon seed or being a representation for the Great Spirit. Now, the demon seed may look at the Great Spirit children and say, you're playing God. You're playing the Lord or something. No, you're the representation of the earth and the land. There's no other way to think. There's no other way. But when a person over-exaggerates, it's because they lack. So the over-exaggeration is plucking from the external world to fulfill something that you're supposed to fulfill yourself. And then now it has to be manifested destiny or self-fulfilling or let thy will, some stupid shit. And You create your own mind and let that will go to hell. Let that will be lost. Let that will only learn how to figure out how to do that with themselves. And if they could now, since they created an opposite world for themselves and everything playing out in reverse and they didn't know it, now they have a longer time to figure out what they have done and figure out how to change it. And until they figure out how to get more relatable with themselves, however that may look, then that's when they may be able to have some grace if they don't reach organ spirit evaporation first, because they already went there about organ implosion. You went in the very organ through the chakra, the mind that made that organ, and stayed there. So instead of pushing out a new form of how you already made that, you went back in it, like you're trying to go back into a nutsack, or you're trying to go back into something you came from. So as above, as it is in heaven, as below, as it is on earth. People always self-reflect. So if you're going somewhere, you're lost, you're trying to find where you think you came from. That's why a lot of people, no matter from different continents, coming to America, because really you're trying to get back to heaven, or you're trying to figure out where you came from or something like that. Yeah, you just lost all over the place, but this is the place you can find it. And it's the place you'll go crazy, get you a bite of fruit and go crazy and try to beat at yourself without having that true understanding. And a lot of individuals have done that in the previous times, the previous centuries and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm just giving y'all what's actually going on before the actual action, the sentiment of it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand the sentiment that we're creating with our high resistance bacteria, that when it interacts with another's, that's our mind, and that's creating an atmosphere between me and you. And then what kind of environment we conduct is going to let us know who's relatable, who's not, and who's even trying. And God wants us to try. That's how we reach the triune. Triune, or trying, means trying, not thinking you are that. Because the thing you think you are ain't that anyway. You need to be one of a kind or something to be the best representation. And if you allow everybody else to be free to be one of a kind, then we bring that into a form, and we can play that form and bring that on earth. Other than that, we're just in a parameter within that. And that thing didn't need us for us to be here, and goddamn it, we need that for us to be here. Or my spirit would have created all y'all ass spirits, and I just think I'm in my own mind. That don't exist. You sentiment just like I'm sentient. So we're in a parameter of something that got it possible. There's all possibilities for many different subjects to be sentient. So when you get lost in anthropomorphizing, it's just at this state right here. Well, do that mean when I'm inside of a sentient? No. Do that mean it's greater? No. What about my sentiment? Yeah, there's a mechanism somewhere where there's a great sentiment, and you just got a micro version of a sentiment. Then where maybe that's from? Bitch, the location ain't a location. Well, do it got a word, Mathematica? Bitch, the word ain't a word. Is it a calendar, a day or the time, the date or the date and the time? You go to hell. Stop trying to be something that's beyond you. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Play your role, and maybe we could find out, just like you was born and you found out you need some milk from your mother's nipple. Stay in that place. Stay in that place so we can learn together. Or go to hell if you want to be a know-it-all in reverse. Being a know-it-all, how I'm talking, is in reverse and inverted, upverted. In the spirit world, I'm giving you what I know so you can know what you don't know. People who know it all try to already don't know something, try to figure out something, think they know everything. You in a situation just a goddamn child. You think I ain't seen them Lego blocks before. You think you the first, because you just start going to school and went to art class and they allowed y'all to play with clay and Play-Doh. Bitch, where you think it came from? Somebody had to make it first. So don't come with no Play-Doh blocks or something like that thinking that you doing something special because you got a certain design or a symbol I ain't never seen before. I know the material. You know what I'm saying? Don't come with no bullshit atmosphere, no punk ass thought. Like, I don't know how atmosphere is here. Don't come with no dumbass and physical representation of yourself or whatever like that. Like, I don't know how Earth got constructed. Bitch, I don't work at NASA. I don't teach y'all water landed on Earth from another galaxy, but we can't go out through a Kuiper belt. But goddamn it, I don't know where I'm at. Bitch, I teach Earth got shaped and molded and derived out of water. The end. You go any further than that, go to hell. Maybe you could be in a world forever and experience water coming from a goddamn another galaxy or something like that. Bitch, everybody here, just like their grandmother, ain't never gonna see that along with someone walking on water and somebody's vote being able to experience it being met. God damn it. Y'all just be lost in your own goddamn minds. That's like a criminal telling you they're a criminal. I'm saying that's like somebody manipulating you, telling you they manipulating you. Why a person going to hell gonna tell you they going to hell? That's something they dealing with themselves. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. That's the whole way you got some mathematics. You got to have that person in. They ain't got nothing to do with you. If they think the volition of whatever they going got something to do with you, however you is, you going wherever you going. Just like how both of us go to sleep right now, we go into our own dreams. That's it. The end. I didn't need you for me to dream. You know what I'm saying? So shit, you can do whatever you're doing outwardly. If I'm manipulating you or you manipulating me, none of that got anything to do with what I made up on my mind and how I thought about it. And that's the only way I'm going to the damn dream. How I thought about it. You know what I'm saying? People get manipulated every day and think they having a peaceful day. Tina Turner, she was getting hit upside her head and think everything was still cool because she was getting a contract and shit like that. She probably had beautiful dreams and shit like that. Shit ain't had nothing to do with her life cycle. Whatever Ike Turner thought he was doing, he was alive. He ain't take none of that shit with him, and he ain't coming alive again. Now I don't know if he had grace or not. I'm just using that as an example though. No, like real shit. That's an example though. Because y'all gotta understand things clearly. Because y'all don't care about the Great Spirit. Y'all don't care about life and existence. You don't care about why you here. But you know you unintelligent. You know you lack something. You know that. So who told you don't know everything? We know everything. Everything is based off attraction and your stimuli and is affected by it. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't what you do, is how you do it. So you know everything. Anytime you make up something you don't know, you made that up. And now you got to go find it. You made up something you don't know. You got to go find it. So you'll get lost in infinite regress, atoms. You'll go to hell in your mind because you're a human. You know what I'm saying? After that, so that's all that is. God ain't telling nobody to do that. God ain't even tell nobody to do that. You know what I'm saying? I know you think it's tricky. You only think it's tricky though because you probably lost in the English language. That's really it. You got to make everything simple. If you don't know how to make something simple, you're lost in the duplications that the world in multitude is here in the first place. So you're constantly diving deep to make something simple. No, make something simple, then go deep. You already know that's a tree, then go deep. You already know what that is, then go deep. Then you get into the details. If you get lost in the deep, you the devil. You know what I'm saying? So the devil is in the details. You know what I'm saying? Before you even care about what that is and the quality of it, you trying to get into each part of it first and see how you could take a piece of it just for you. You know what I'm saying? So you don't even give a fuck about the fruit being attached to the tree branch and shit and how to replenish it. You just gonna take all the fruit first. Now, if everything back there supported on you, you can't teach us how to grow another tree. Man, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here. You just drinking up God's world. Unintelligent. Plucking from what's intelligent. God and God's people. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Y'all gotta understand, it's like some slick cold game. You know what I'm saying? Slick cold game and shit like that you don't be tapped into though. You ain't tapped in. You tapped into something, your favorite sports team. Once you learn what I'm talking about, the sports team, that'd be like the second coming. But for the most part, you know, if the sports team first, you ain't gonna never have no time to think about what I'm talking about. So you'll always lose a sports bet anyway. And not to say, you gotta have some equilibrium. I say something like that. That's not for you to create a narrative because you got an ego in your mind to be like, well, do that mean if I know what you know, I can actually start winning goddamn bets and stuff? Listen, you get retarded, man. Don't step aside yourself, bitch. I'm giving you some knowledge that if sports ain't even exist, bitch, you'll still be able to go to heaven, bitch. And this same quality play out in all existences. Once you understand it from that broad, holy area, then maybe dive back in. Even if you even feel comfortable with betting anymore, you'll know the right mechanism. Then possibly it'll be higher on a percentage scale if you win it, then less on a percentage scale. A motherfucker, they don't even put everything on the end all and be all and eggs in the basket on that though. So what's that? Because God like to be free. God don't like to be encapsulated. You get ready to get in your own mind. Do something for God. That might be something in nature that's infinite, that you ain't even got to get your blood, sweat, and tears or use your own mind and pluck from the world to make it a synthetic version of it anyway. It'll be something that you can just go pluck from the tree. Motherfucking real shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do life. Or this shit wouldn't be here. Don't start life like, how is this here? I don't give a fuck. It'll always be here. In your mind, you think you're going to go somewhere where sun is always there and this fruit is always there and shit like that. The shit you need to replenish yourself. But you didn't give a fuck about none of it that was outside of you. You know what I'm saying? But yet you here and you needed it. Who going to supply that when you in your own mind? And when you can't spark another thought, Where you gonna get some more atmosphere from? Where you gonna get some more fire from? You can't spark your own fire and atmosphere anymore. And it ain't gonna be able to cool off if you in the macro version with everybody else, all of y'all on mine, burning in that hell and shit like that. So all y'all getting ready to get washed out in the washing machine cycle. Can't go back to the West no more. Gotta stay on the East and get washed out. Can't even be in the washing machine cycle no more. Out of existence. Burnt up. You know what I'm saying? There ain't, I don't, well, I wouldn't advise y'all to read no Bibles and shit like that. But I'm about to come out with my Bible, and I'm about to come out and see, damn, we got to come up with a new way of selling shit in today's time. That's fucked up. Because I don't want this really getting in the hands of the wrong individuals. And when I say that, I'm not just talking about, because y'all probably think the government or whatever the case may be. This type of knowledge don't even need to be in the hands of retards and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like God telling somebody, hey, this is what it takes to get to heaven. And a person is manipulative. So they're going to take this, to take that, to still try to do their negative shit and still escape hell or whatever the case may be. And there's no other way to do it. That very action itself means going to hell. You try to be your own God. And you created a God out of something that ain't got nothing to do with it. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be treating things in your life like it ain't nothing. So once you let your own internal energies be too much of something and you created the somethings, you externalize that. Everything outside of you, even if it's nothing, it's a problem to you. You have an idle mind. You have $1 million and shit like that. You wanna stop somebody in your business, or their rapper or singer too. They ain't even got as much money as you. You want to use your money to stop them. Then go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Go to fucking hell. That quality is ugly to God, and those actions it been down for you to express don't belong here no more. You ain't never gonna be able to be born again and bring that bullshit back on earth. But it needs time to build up. You got to build it up. You got to make it. So God, you need to put in as much actions as possible. I think the more powerful you think you are, the longer you're gonna be in hell. The more people you convince, the longer you're gonna have when you do try to wake up. Another side of you convince you to stay in. It might be a person that when you was woke, that was you was buddy with, always validated you. In your dream, you get ready to be tired of something and move. Here you go, your buddy in your dream, like, nah, I got this new idea about something. You like, what? You in your hell longer. Real shit. And at that time, you're going to get tired because you're going to be like, man, I can't wake up no more. I can't wake up no more. And every time you become more aware that you in your dream, that's more of you being more separate. And you ain't got enough air connected with everybody else air, and you're about to start suffocating. But suffocation in the mind is lack of thought, lack of feeling. So you can't think and feel about things calmly. Everything is thinking and feeling like you getting ready to get in a car accident or something like that. But you can only think and feel about the first stimuli that you made from your mind, your organs. So all your organs changes is what you think and feel is real and going on inside of your mind. Because that's the chakras that bend in and become your organs in the first place, and it's cooled off spot for you to have some extension and live life, giving life to death. The body giving life to it. Thoughts and feelings, you as a spirit being that practitioner. Staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. Oh, that's my shit. Now, all white people ain't retarded. You know what I'm saying? I know I joke a lot of shit like that. Shit, BGs, they was dropping some shit. BGs are dropping some shit. Oh, Sam, shit, you already in the spirit already. You know these cats was in the studio more than thinking about politics and shit like that. You know that. You know that. You know these cats was like, nah, where my guitar at, man? Oh, Sam. Think about all that shit right now. Shit like that's how you get a hit. That's how you get a hit. Right there. That's exactly how you get a hit right there. Minding your fucking business. Anytime you can mind your business, oh shit, that's what you sound like me. Real shit, anytime you can be somewhere and minding your business, you got a hit. You got a hit. Get ready to come. Soon as you start thinking too much about life, you go outside, take a first fart cloud breath of fresh air and shit like that. Already your mind somewhere else. You don't want to go to the studio no more. You don't want to go to the movie trailer no more. You don't want to do that paint art no more. You don't want to get that thing together no more. You don't want to make that silk press machine shirt and hat no more. All I said, everything phony now. You done allowed the external world to get you lost in your mind and shit. Man, you ain't in a high. Like, ah, nah, real shit. Nah, yeah. Oh, I said, feel you with a sharp root inside your body. I just gave you the vowel. Now, I ain't gonna give y'all certain words, certain areas and shit like that to get your heart pumping and shit like that. When you need certain intelligence to care about something, then you got the best care about it and shit. Then you got to making your heart run. You ain't never gonna catch no heart cancer and shit too. Your heart got all the nutrients it had when it was developing and plucking from your mother heart and stuff. Because you found it in the external. You found it in the holy holies at this point. Because you knew how to find it in the holy holies. So the messengers, the holy ones, the holy people, and the holy holies gave you that. And now you got actual instructions, the Mathematica for God, your own body temperature Mathematica. And then now you can teach someone else what you did for yourself, and they can come up with their own Mathematica. But the Mathematica of interpretation, it's like a Mathematica, but it ain't a Mathematica. It's a procedure, it ain't a procedure. It's me telling you it's a diet, but it ain't a diet. I just do this at 12 o'clock, but your diet might be eating dirt. My diet might be that. You know what I'm saying? But so don't go off my specific routine. Just go where I led you to and where I'm at. We both at the water. You got to just make your own cup. Now, if you ain't in that aspect, you are not a teacher. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck who you is. I don't care if you're on NASA. I don't care if you're on a PBS channel or whatever. You're online thinking you a scholar or whatever the case may be. You leading somebody to your hell and you already there. Because if you wasn't, you would have my intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And we ain't about to compare and contrast with your ego. My intelligence ain't my intelligence. I give grace to God. I'm the image of it. Don't get jealous because I can say I'm the Lord. You can't have no comprehension how to separate it. And I'm telling you I ain't that and things of that nature. Yet you ain't going to know no higher percentage scale, something that I told you to be able to compare and contrast and create a dichotomy and try to debunk. You ain't going to be able to. Go to hell. The moment you try, you making up something in your own mind. And you're going to be able to be like, well, that's in your own mind. But when I use my mind, it has something to do with something you can see even when my mind ain't around you. What you said, I guarantee I can't see it if I ain't around you. And you going to have to show me if I'm around you through your telescope, or if we get ready to get on Netflix, we get ready to watch Star Trek, or you get ready to pull out a book, it's Bible or something. That's the only way. Other than that, you shitting bricks in the brains. You ain't got shit on me in the Great Spirit. Don't give me no advice about nothing. You know what I'm saying? The end. I compare and contrast real good. God taught me how to compare and contrast real good in this motherfucking shit. So you got to keep that in mind in this shit. So you got ain't no choice but to have the jealous demonic God. Jealous as hell. Like, let's stop this. Let's distract this. Can you please talk about something that I'm retarded about again? You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Can you please talk about something I'm retarded about again? This is astrology. Guess what? If you like Mercury and all that other shit, you're retarded. Go on their channel. Y'all saying real shit. I disrespect you. Fuck you. Y'all saying real shit. I don't ever want you on my channel. I got enough real people in real life. You's a fuck person. Whoever the fuck you is. You just some psyop online. People in real life have allowed people online to just be themselves so we can compare and contrast who's psyops or not. So this is like 90% of the people on psyop. People who real already fuck with me, that's online or somewhere else, and people in my real life and who are around me. The end. Have fun with y'all toys. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't online for y'all. I only work for the Great Spirit. I don't work for demons. Matter of fact, y'all work for me. For you know how to do anything with your own life, you gotta watch me. The end. You know what I'm saying? For you even be entertained, you gotta watch me. The end. You're not a main star player. If you was a main star player, I'll be watching y'all. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I don't watch child spirits. I don't watch little kid spirits. So in the physical world, you know what I'm saying? It's like a kid with toys and trying to use the toys to be like, hey, I'm when a kid can beat up a big brother, right? You want to brag. It's like having a kid have a supper or a snack or a lunch they brought to school and they think nobody else had it at school. And let's say they did something to their big brother or something like that. So it's like an accomplishment. So it ain't about the creativity. It's about, yeah, I beat up my big brother, and my big brother can't beat me, and I'm strong, and I got a Captain America serum juice, so I need the world to see it. So it ain't ever about the serum juice. It's about, I need everybody to know I beat up my big brother. So it's like a kid spirit. Like kid. Like you got to go play. Hey, look what I could do. Look what I run. I run this. These are my Lego blocks. Mine, man. These are mine. You know what I'm saying? Like me and the Great Spirit be in the spiritual world like this. This rocks. Let's love every baby. Love. We don't say body. We say baby. It was like I be putting God in the baby seat. That would be I build God up. You know, let's put everybody in the baby seat. Let's love everybody and put them in a baby seat. They do not know what they do. You know what I'm saying? Rock them to sleep in hell too. Just put them in a baby seat. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. When this is mine. So when you're an adult spirit, the land is your toy, atmosphere and environment. So when you're making a new Lego block, kids look at it like that in the spiritual world. So as above, so below. These is people who's rooted on property or rooted on, it's mine. Then you want somebody else's toy. And my toy. You gotta let kids play with kids. And y'all going through a new shift right now. A lot of y'all who had a lot of grace is older than a lot of spirits in today's time. That's why y'all ain't affected about a lot of stuff too, because you got other stuff to think about. Building another organ. We in a shift where we're getting ready to build another organ for the environment. Leave anybody behind that's behind in consciousness. That's baby. When is mine? You can't let go of something. Eventually you're not even gonna be able to find a reason why you're holding on to it. And the reason behind it of how you're holding on to it in the first place is gonna matter none. It's almost like, let's look at money. You see how money devaluing and things of that nature? Let's say you bought something. Let's say you invested into gold or coins, and a coin costing a lot of money, and because the coin gonna be worth a lot of money later on, or that comic book. But let's say you got it 10 years ago, and then 10 years pass, it's cryptocurrency or something like that. The thing you pay for it to worth something later don't even matter. So the thing itself is this stupid. Like I said, you see what I'm saying? It's like retarded. So it's like a kid. Man, this is mine. This is mine. And the thing itself don't even matter anymore. The mind state behind it, the value behind it, and the object itself don't even matter. And we have to use that to make another step somewhere else. And that's the only way it can be used for. If it can only be used to be on one step, whoever want to be frozen in a pocket of time and go there because it's no longer useful for God, because we see it being stagnated. First it play out through the atmosphere, how we're connected with the mind, something highly being rejected. Then physically it play out through the washing machine cycle. It shrink up whatever comes with it, whether it's something in the atmosphere, environment, either animals or people. It shrink up. That's how God get people out of here. You know what I'm saying? Not animal getting an animal out of here, human getting a human out of here. How God get that thing out of here as an entity, and whatever had grace continue to come back, because this is existence, period. You can't, there's nothing can stop existence. The existence is our thoughts. That's it. And you like being here, don't you like thinking? Why not do it for the Great Spirit, so we always have a form we all can connect to be here, mentally and physically? Why take that and create your own? That's dumb. I don't get it. It don't make no sense. So it's a procedure. It takes relatability. Relatability creates attraction. Attraction creates synchronicity. Synchronicity creates pattern. And pattern creates the right harnessing. We're able to harness it and not get lost in it. Believe it, but don't believe in it. So it becomes polarization. Then we get lost in our own polarization. Then that's the loopy-de-loop inception. We end up to have the pattern and being able to keep, okay, let's make a greater pattern. A greater mind condensed to become a greater organ. Okay, this is what we're doing to have a smaller mind to create a lesser organ. And then spiritual root races take that. Okay, bacteria, parasite. Okay, animal, human. Okay, human, atmosphere. Okay, boom, this is all it is. Let's create something new. But you got to have that process. If you're scared to be on a process, you're scared to deal with yourself. Because to deal with yourself is what outwardly all of us doing as a team work makes a dream work. And we could be ourselves amongst each other. And that situation, been and become an environment, is the goddamn us helping God. If it's relatable, we know we're here together. We know we did it for God. If it's unrelatable, we already on some separate energy. Even if it's amongst a cult, we know we're getting ready to be extracted out. So we already practicing extraction energy. Let me separate. Let me go behind. Let me be a shadow. Let me manipulate. Let me not show my true colors. Let me not know where I'm from. Let me be an alien. All that is your own mind. You know what I'm saying? So you end up going to the highest degree of you already act out in reality, being here in reality to even act out I'm not in reality energies. You know what I'm saying? So you about to create a reality of non-reality. That's the only way to get to hell. There is no other way to get to hell. The bugs that went there had grace, but they went through a hell and came back. They were stray animals, stuff like that. So they went through hell. Next time they wasn't a stray animal. They stayed with their pack. They stayed with their tribe. That's why so many animals. That's more with their tribe. If it was more of that being the right way to go, we would see it being more stray animals every time they get born, and we would see some mechanism in life on how that's the better thing to do than be able to. But we don't see that. We see. So if you don't know how to look at procedures and see how that play out in all things in the holy, our body, and how we relate, you're not never gonna get no messages from the holy ones, the holy, holy, holy. So you're never gonna be amongst the holy people, and whatever you get ready to make up with has nothing to do with whatever you calling God. Period. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what you talking about. What you about to make up in your own mind to call it life? You're taking from life again to do. Come up with a thought you start thinking to come up with. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep over exaggerating. Y'all gotta chill. You're already thinking. That's natural. You already want some water. That's natural. Learn how to do it for God or do it for yourself. You see what I'm saying? Period. The more you already think. But how can I think like this? How can I think like that? Manipulation, devil, going into the details, Lupiter, inception. God teaches us to only do that when it's helpful because you already in that loop, and then you realize that's something you have to wake up out of. So when you already get lost in your mind by mistake, you ain't know no better, you have grace. You go through a mental or an external or a situation in your life to show you something outside of you, another assistance or a new situation, all that leads to something better that you can add to, even if you're developing your own idea, not stuck in one. And then that connection allow you to be like, oh, I'm making a mistake. And all you did was woke up, got out of one form you were stuck in and got into another one. We already doing that in the mind when you go into a lighter mind that you consider better because you was in a heavier one that's a collection of thoughts and feelings. Boom. So when you act that out physically, boom, you already know that's supposed to be the procedure you're dealt with inside, and that's the procedure you're supposed to act out. If you being more lighter, act that one out, even if situations in reverse seem heavy. If you're already heavy, you can't really act out without it being a filter system, or you may be fatigued, or you may not be doing anything at all because you're too stuck in your mind. Now you're procrastinating. Those how you go to hell. God show us before we even die how to get out of those forms as a procedure. You're stuck in the mind. Get out of that. Now you can back free and light enough to do what you're naturally doing to make you even develop something in the first place that you brought in the world that you can be stuck in. You do it relatable, even if it seemed to get hard. You can still be here. It didn't affect you. I like that. People want to participate with that. You do that. You separate. Nobody want to participate with that. You're rebellious in your own hole. Even to the people who fuck with you. Even if you created people around you, still something God don't like. And you in your own mind thinking you doing something that because you just like it. I'm saying? So we got to be careful what the fuck we doing. Oh, shit. It's a deep situation out here when you understand spirituality and shit and how to go about it. Because it's just your space. It's just your space of observation. And you have to be the one knowing that, oh, I'm emanating the thought and I'm receiving thoughts from other people who doing that same thing. And the RAM that's condensing in between us is us fulfilling our space for us to be aware of that. So this is where image is coming from. Star Wars. Now, I hate to say wars, but you know what I'm saying? So that's your influence connected with other people's influence. Sex. Teamwork makes the dream work comes in. We're experiencing each other down here. Having orgasms, expressing, and things of that nature. So for the most part, these are all forms of orgasms. You know what I'm saying? Not just the most rooted one and shit like that. So when you're not even really able to get your thoughts off, you're not able to have the mental orgasm. So mental orgasm, not just feeling good all the time, is getting your thoughts off. Sometimes y'all can have a stressful orgasm, right? Where you're forcing yourself to get your thoughts off. So you're all over the place and shit like that. But it's always a build up and charge up, and we're pushing out in the world. So a mental orgasm, the atmosphere, and that's what we're doing to condense to become the fleshly fluid that go back in as a cycle, condense, and then you have physical orgasms too, and you can actually bring the physical form into the world as an organ. See what I'm saying? And then the spirits that's always engineering you and another and triplets or however the case may be, you and a person in the spirit in the space that y'all in, that y'all chose to be in, be in a spiritual space, collect all those thoughts from there. So you're around those type of spirits, and you and those spirits is the kind of spirits that's being brought from the inside out, as above, less dense, as below, heavier dense. in that cooled off spot separate from the sun, so we ain't in hell, and we make a heaven out of that to experience it on earth. And then for the most part, that's how we bring each other here. So a lot of y'all be bringing demons here too. You got to be in a certain spiritual space. Both of y'all connected with the mind. That space is going to be amongst other spirits that's got their own mind trying to come here. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's how we live in each other in our first bodies and share space. And we anchor our spiritual tribes here. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And a lot of times you have to be careful of that, because if you just fucking someone based upon being dickmatized and twatmatized, but y'all ain't got nothing in common, y'all ain't got nothing else in common but the relationships that the government supply for y'all, then these are the type of spirits you're going to bring here. So the very type of spirits that the government be trying to get rid of, they keep bringing them here. It's like the government going to hell when they in this type of weird energy. The things they're doing outwardly is the things that they're producing. So you have to be careful of that also. And things, because you're not doing things the right way. It's almost like someone with no culture and untalented stopping everybody else from doing theirs because they want control for other reasons. And then when they want everybody to be peaceful, you don't have nothing to fall back on. No culture or nothing, no creativity to fall back on. So you just left in having to work with people who had a culture and then try to figure out how it could work with what you already doing and shit like that. So it's almost like people dragging y'all to hell and they don't even know that they going to hell or a way out of it. So it's like weird. But since you don't know no better, you got grace. Since they know what they doing, that's a deeper hell. Because you're supposed to know what you're doing. If you got intentions, that's premeditated. Once it's premeditated, you're already in your own mind. If the premeditation ain't got nothing to do with God, and it got something to do with you and your cult, that's how you go. That's how hell got created. There is no other way to get lost in your own mind. We always gonna be in our mind, though. It's natural. This is moving on. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you need your mind to condense to become your brain. So we either building a brain for God, or we building our own brain in our mind, and it ain't no physical brain we could be born back in again. Just the mind being stuck, not condensing to be a brain or organ again. And I hate to be going there. I'm saying I hate to go there and things of that nature, because I created that world. That's hellfire. When we all teamwork makes the dream work, the fire itself get created from our internal imagination. When you do it the right way, be like, oh, this is good. When you do it the wrong way, it's hellfire. It's like you're compressed. And we had to go through a lot of evolutions for that to even be possible. So a human, you could go to a forever version of that shit. Because the atmosphere is here forever. So we've been collecting thoughts and feelings for a long time. All these species and shit like that. We've been doing this shit for a long time, building an organ for God, allowing God to breathe good. The better God can breathe, the better we can breathe. The better you can help God build a sufficient organ, the better God help you have a sufficient organ. The better you can help the atmosphere and the environment in a relatable way, the way God help you with peace. Anytime we in that spiritual space of nothingness with God and we emanate a thought, we do something for God. For the most part, ain't nothing separating God from the universe but you. Your spiritual space, having a space, you creating a form out of that space, and these forms becoming a universe. So that space of you need to always be in that space and always be the creator. Not always get lost and come after the fact, get lost in the creations and try to figure it out like you some goddamn kid. So for the most part, in the physical world, yeah, you'll figure out a lot of ways of how to manipulate a situation, but manipulate yourself to hell. Because when you get to the Great Spirit, that's rejected. That's something that's part of this world. It's not part of how we make this world. And a person will have to think that if they came second, this world is already created for them or something like that. Or have no concept of that. You know what I'm saying? Yet you're in a world beyond you, and somebody had to fuck for you to be here. And thank God they had that grace for you to even be here. Because 9 times out of 10, nobody who practices these extreme energies got parents that do that. And if they do, it's all a path to hell. This could be any ethnicity and shit like that. You could be a narc and go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Because you lost in your own mind. There is no other way to think about it. When we in the English language, that's the simple way to make it. You go to hell by being lost in your own mind. Don't over exaggerate about it. That's going deeper. You know what I'm saying? You could be lost in your own mind right now. So you over exaggerating what you think people think about you, how you think people feel about you in other people's minds. Supposed to be thinking about your own mind. So you don't know how to mind your own business. So when you in other people's business, when you're acting it out, it don't look like it's relatable type of concept. It maybe look like it's unrelatable and shit like that. Or it maybe look like you're doing something from the acceptance of someone else's will. Non-acceptance of someone else's will. You know what I'm saying? Because like, for an example, me and you got a business. Me and you got to know what's going on. So whatever decision is made, and whoever's doing it to the full potential, that's the agreement. But it can't be no business where this portion of it ain't even really part of the business, but it's being utilized for a business. That's a bad investment right there, and things of that nature. It's a bad investment because it's a form of detachment. God ain't got nothing to do with that. So it's in a situation where the individual that just wanted to relate to something, that's all they know. The individual that knew something else invested in their own mind. They don't go no further than that. It's everybody lost in their own mind. We got to get out of the external world of creating so many pleasures about it. I think humans got too many pleasures of the external world to some degree, and the external world is for it to be in a situation of understanding the mechanism of something. You can starve yourself and still understand the mechanism of something. Whatever that enticed you to replenish your starving, you learn more about your starving than anything. Then you start to treat better even the small things of what nurture that quality. So now you're being a spiritual adult, showing yourself internally, and you can help people outwardly how to handle that energy better before they even do anything outwardly that become their own diet or their own thing. And that relatable energy itself is what God see fit for something to be in this expiration date. But if it can be used for replenishing, you give honor to it, give honor to the spiritual ancestor of that thing, the spiritual predecessor, and therefore that's what this cycle system for. Same way humans get ate up by the atmosphere. Animals get ate up by humans. Bugs get ate up by animals. You know what I'm saying? Bacteria get ate up by bugs. Parasites get ate up by bacteria. So you see, it's a washing machine cycle. So whatever the human think they do, and they're going to do to themselves and get ate up by atmosphere. Angels like me. And then angels, we get ate up by the Great Spirit. But the only way you get ate up by the Great Spirit is just being here, and you would like to get ate up by the Great Spirit. You're inside, building up the insides, and we're getting ready to make the mind. We always going to be doing the same thing. It ain't what we do, it's how we do it. So you ain't going to be able to change life, bitch, or you ain't going to be able to be here. Bitch, you either know how to do it for the Great Spirit and figure out how to do it and find it, or find sanctions like me and then get goddamn private shit and connect, or goddamn motherfucker, go to hell. The end. There ain't no other portion of life. And if you don't like the word hell, it's because you lost in the English language. It's just ye hell. You done made your own mind. That's it. You made your own piece of flame out of that flame and left the mechanism of being able to reproduce. The end. So you probably ain't gonna be able to be born again, reproduce another birth. You ain't gonna be able to die again, reproduce another death, reproduce another experience with someone else. Only thing you can reproduce is your own thoughts until you can't do that no more. Spirit evaporation. Goodbye. That's it. That's what we do as existence. There ain't no other existence. There ain't no black holes on none of that goddamn shit. We're fulfilling spaces. The only hole is the holy ones, the observer, your spirit. You go any other hole, you created a mind, an imagination, and it consists of holes. It consists of black holes. Go to hell. Go to that black hole. Go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Now, you might experience being evaporated, but to you, it's going to be a hellistic goddamn nightmare you can't get out of, and then eventually evaporate, don't exist. And since you probably can't stop being aware, you might start being aware of non-existence. So I don't even know how that path go, and I would never want to figure it out either. Because guess what? It's all of our responsibility to create it. I don't know what makes a spirit cut off awareness. You probably might be the aware to the endless of you don't even exist no more. Only to yourself. So only spirits who's going there know how that look. They're making it and don't know how to cut it off. They don't know how to shut off awareness. They don't know how to shut off suffocating. They don't know how to shut off having shit in every second. They don't know how to shut anything off. But they don't even exist. And remind you, I'm expressing a thought right now, right? That don't exist to you. And why they don't exist to you? Because you're alive. You get the transition. You better thank God. Fuck wrong with you? And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Flight boss, bitch, you know. For sure. You're now listening to the mind of an Antares Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel. And I made a care I got duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Just know you can't escape it. You should love the Great Spirit. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You like being here, right? And you was happy that your mama wiped your ass. That's a piece of it. Appreciate yourself. Just love yourself first. Start there. Just somebody to learn. Hey, hurt people. Stop hurting yourself.